Welcome to Chapter 5 entitled Data Collection Techniques. Our first topic entitled the questionnaire. Pre-questionnaire planning is the process will be given brief outline form as a way of reviewing the major steps and emphasizing decisions that should be made before the data collection instrument is selected or designed. Advantages of the questionnaire. 1. The mail, email, and web-based questionnaire tends to encourage frank answers. 2. Eliminate interviewer bias. 3. Quantitative data are relatively easy to collect and analyze. 4. Save time. Disadvantages of questionnaire. 1. Self-selection bias. 2. Inaccurate. 3. Sampling bias. 4. Lack of control over respondent. 5. Not detailed. Constructing the questionnaire. Type of question according to information needed. Factual questionnaire, opinion and attitude questions, information questions, self-perception question, standard of action, and projective question. There are two basic types of questions. The fixed response or closed-ended questions limit answers, thus tighter stats, and the open-ended questions or unstructured questions prompt people to answer with sentences, lists, and stories, giving deeper and new insights. Scaled responses. A variety of questions utilize scales of one type or another in order to obtain responses. One kind of scale is the rating scale. Specific rating scales, with examples, include the following. 1. An itemized rating or specific category scale. 2. A graphic rating scale. 3. A rank order or comparative rating scale. Other scaling methods use multiple responses or measurements and combine the responses into a single scale score are multiple item scales, a differential scale, and summated scales. Question content and selection is a question with which the speaker asks the hearer to supply specific information about participants or settings. Content questions contrast primarily with polar questions, which for a yes or no. Question wording. The general principle of question wording is that every respondent should understand the question and be able to answer it with reliability and validity. This process involves a total of 4 tasks: understanding the question text, retrieving information from memory, forming a judgment, and formulating a response in the format provided. Sequencing of questionnaire items. This feature allows you to decide how questions will be displayed to participants each time the survey is accessed. Questions can be displayed as entered, rotated, or randomized. Preparing the first draft. In preparing the first draft of the questionnaire, the researcher may decide that some questions are of such a nature that respondents are unlikely to answer them accurately or honestly. Evaluating the questionnaire. Once the first draft of the questionnaire has been completed, and before it is actually pretested, it is a good idea to get one or more experts' opinion of the questionnaire. This pretest is referred to as a pilot study. The stage in development of the questionnaire that determines the final editing. It is recommended that the title of the study or survey be placed at the top of the questionnaire. Cover letter should accompany the questionnaire. The basic purpose of the cover letter is to explain briefly the purpose of the study and to stress the importance of each person's respondent. Distribution of the questionnaire. There are 3 main methods of administering the survey questionnaire: the self-administered questionnaire, the administered face-to-face respondents, the administered to respondents via phone. Mail questionnaire refers to the instrumentation of a self-administered survey. The initial delivery of the mail questionnaire is typically in the form of a survey packet. Electronic questionnaire contains questions in a software system that can be answered by individual. The interview. Developing the interview is one of the first steps must be development of the list of questions to be asked, or the interview schedule. It is highly recommended that interview schedules be pretested. An additional step in the development of the interview involves the training of interviewers.
Conducting the personal interview. The interviewer should attempt to create a friendly and non-threatening atmosphere. Introduce yourself, make the person comfortable, ask your questions, stay quiet, let the person be natural, stay focused and stay in control. Advantages and disadvantages of interview.
Focus group interviews. The focus group is a group interview designed to explore in depth the feelings and beliefs people hold and to learn how these feelings shape overt behavior. The discussions start out broadly and gradually narrow down to the focus of the research. When taking notes, the recorder should attempt to trace, identify, distinguish, capture and distinguish perception, analysis and reporting of the focus group data. The results of focus group interviews cannot be used to generalize to an entire population. It permits assessment of nonverbal responses and reveals group interaction patterns. Two basic approaches to analyzing focus group data. Ethnographic summary produces numerical descriptions of the data content analysis, tallying of mentions of very specific factors. Advantages and disadvantages of the focus group interview. Telephone interview. Another important type of interview is the telephone interview. This technique deserves special attention. Like the researcher-administered questionnaire, the telephone interview tends to combine the advantages and disadvantages of the mail questionnaire and the personal interview. The telephone interview advantages and disadvantages. Observation and usability testing. Observe means to watch attentively in a scientific or systematic manner. In an observational study, the current status of a phenomenon is determined not by asking but by observing. As a data collection technique, it is used in both basic and applied research and in quantitative and qualitative studies. Scientific observation should be systematic, objective, and free from bias, and strong in usability, reliability, and validity. Advantages of observation research. Limitations of observational research. Observational techniques do suffer from a few limitations as follows. Two basic types of observation: the unstructured observation and structured observation. Other steps that can be taken to increase the reliability of structured observation, as well as unstructured observation in some cases, include the following. Usability testing is the observation and analysis of users' behavior while they interact with a system or prototype. Usability testing is a form of human ethnographic observation combined with ergonomics and cognitive psychology. Usability testing flow of electrons information.